Welcome back. This is Billy Alvaro, Wayne Hartard, and David LaForte from Equity Settlements. We are cashing out. You're listening to us today on 103.9 WRCN. We have a company called Easy Sell Property Solutions. As you know, we buy properties all day, every day for cash. We have a really unique process called the Easy Way Out. And when I tell you, what's my expression? When I tell you it is literally the fastest, easiest, most hassle-free way to sell your house, it is. The Easy Way Out gets you out of your property, gets the burden of holding on to that property off your shoulders and on the ours. Whether you have a house you inherited, you have a house that you're getting divorced, you have a house that is behind on taxes, in foreclosure, it's in disarray, it has open permits, open CFOs, whatever the situation may be, we're able to buy that property for cash, and we're able to buy it quickly and on your timeline. So today we're talking to Dave LaForte. My headset went out again. Talking to Dave LaForte from Equity Settlements. We want to go into the title defects and the title issues. In the first segment, we were speaking about what title insurance was, what it covers, what it doesn't cover, and the fact that you put together reports, and in the reports you'll bring up CFOs and judgments and liens, stuff that's not insurable. So let's go into, let's get deeper into the fact of the non-insurable things, and then we'll get into the insurable things. So the non-insurables are the CFOs.
Correct.
What else? The permits.
Housing and building violation search.
Okay.
Sewer and street. So those are non-insurable items, which means that they're for informational purposes only. They're presented to the purchaser's attorney and obviously the seller's attorney. How the certificate of occupancy is set up on the home. If there are housing and building violations, and itemizes what those violations are, if any.
So if a buyer with a mortgage is buying a seller's property, and their attorney, the buyer's attorney, finds out through your report or a title company's report that there are open CFOs in a house for, let's just say, a dormer upstairs, what do you think that attorney is going to tell the buyer?
The attorney is going to tell the buyer, I have to go about and get this dismissed. The seller and their attorney have to go down to the town. They have to make this right. And chances are it's not that easy of a process.
So it's going to be a hassle for the sellers of the property.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why Easy Sell comes in with the hassle-free process, the easy way out of buying these properties without the sellers have to jump through hoops.
Correct. And if that buyer, is taking out a mortgage, the bank and the bank's attorney is going to have a problem with violation, certificate of occupancy. So, if somebody's owning a property and, they want to build an in-law suite and they finished off the garage and put a kitchen in there, that's going to cause an issue when they go to resell. And, your conventional buyer that's taking out a mortgage isn't going to be able to close on that property.
And even if so that's the CFO piece, the violation piece. If there's open violations, is the buyer's mortgage company going to allow them to close with open violations?
Absolutely not.
And so who's that going to have to revert back to?
It's going to have to get reverted back to the seller, and the seller's attorney.
And again, it's just going to be a hassle for them to try to go through this. So, the reason we have this show and we have on experts is really to educate sellers out there on what their options are. We're not the perfect fit for everybody, right? At Easy Sell Property Solutions, when we go out, we make offers on property. We make them a fair offer, but we are going to be looking for a discount because we're a for-profit business. We're not making a killing on every property, but we have to make a profit on homes. And so we exchange our offers and the fact that we can buy hassle-free for cash. It really, if you think about it, if a seller would sit back and think about all the hurdles and hoops they have to jump through and the stress and the hassle they have to go through, because eventually all the issues that are on the property, they're not going to be buried underneath the carpet. It's going to come to the surface and they're going to have to be dealt with, whether today or in 6 months from now. That seller is going to have to deal with them if, in fact, they're selling to a person who has to get a mortgage. And generally, that means the person who's getting a mortgage found the property through a realtor because they listed the house in the market.
Correct.
With us, David, and you've been dealing with us for a long time now, years, 10 plus years. When we buy properties, do we close on these houses?
Absolutely.
Do we close and do these sellers walk away with smiles on their face?
Absolutely.
For a reason, because we're able to use our money. We know that these properties come with issues, and we're able to solve one of the biggest hurdles that these sellers are dealing with, which is time and hassles. Any type of hassle that they have, we're able to take it off their shoulders and put it on ours. And so it's important for the listeners out there to hear this. Whether you're selling to us, Easy Sell Property Solutions, or you're selling to another reputable all-cash house buyer, you just want to weigh the options of selling it for cash at a slight discount or having to jump through 8 or 9 or 12 hurdles. And I'm telling you, Wayne, you could attest because you deal on the back end with the municipalities. How hard of a time is it trying to get anything done with the towns?
It's very, very challenging, folks, out there. I mean, dealing with the towns could take years.
You just dealt with a property we had in Huntington, which is a 2-year process, 2 years, and at the last moment they're trying to deny you again and telling you now you need a variance. I mean, it's a hassle.
It's a hassle. It really is a hassle. You could go through 2 different plans examiners. You could go through a variance board. They could slip up. They could make mistakes. Dealing with the towns, it's really night and day. It's Jekyll and Hyde. It doesn't, you don't know what you're going to get with them.
Yeah.
And every year the codes will change. Every year regulations change, rules change. New administration comes into each town, and that just changes everything.
It's crazy.
And all of a sudden everything goes on standstill. Nothing gets
it's
reviewed, and everything's on stand. So it's
nuts.
very, very, very challenging.
So getting back now to David with the insurance. So we've covered the violations. We've covered the C of Os, which are just for information purposes only, but they are going to have to be addressed. Talk to me about liens and judgments. What happens with liens and judgments and mortgages?
So if taxes go unpaid on a property and they don't get paid for a while, they actually take the better lien position. So if there's a mortgage on the property, unpaid taxes actually
go into first position.
Go into first position.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So and if taxes don't get paid, eventually the county or the town can foreclose on the property.
What about liens and judgments?
So liens.
So let's say a seller, right? A seller had they inherited a property, and there's 4 people that are due to get part of the estate to get it. All 4 of those people now, if they have liens and judgments against them, don't they then attach to that property?
Yes, they attach to the property.
A lot of people don't know this.
Don't know.
And even if going back to the example that you gave, if say 4 siblings inherited 123 Smith Street, if they have personal judgments against them and they're actually heirs to that property, and they have judgments against them, those judgments could attach to that
Attached
property.
to 123 Smith Street.
And that actually needs to be addressed also.
Yeah. So the sellers that are listening, we have a process, and it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it does work 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
We're able to take people who have liens and judgments against them, which then attaches to the property. We're able through our process, and I know we can't do this through you because your company won't insure it, but it's a risk on our end, which we'll take. We're able to get those liens and judgments basically eliminated from the property. There's an expense to doing it. Sometimes we pick it up depending on the deal. Sometimes we'll have the sellers pick it up. But it's just another tool in our toolbox which allows these sellers of the property to sell a house that otherwise wouldn't be able to be sold. Or if it was sold, they're going to walk away with very little money. Because of the process we have, they're actually able to walk away with more money because we can get these liens and judgments basically eliminated from the property.
Correct.
It's a pretty cool technique.
It is, because it happens to a lot of people. How many times do people come to us where they've inherited properties?
Yeah.
Like Dave is saying, 4, 5, 6, 7 siblings. They've all got liens, judgments. One could be, incarcerated. The other one could be, 2 or 3 of them are in different states. One declared, a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize. So now think about that report that you were talking about earlier that you're going to run in that title. Now you're going to, on that, 123 Smith Street. Now you're going to run reports on all those people, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So there's 6 or 7 siblings. Now you got to run the title.
Yeah, and if they have judgments against them, those have to be addressed. And if they're going through a traditional sale, a buyer and a seller attorney aren't going to facilitate the process that you were just talking about getting these dismissed. So what does that mean for the seller? They're actually going to get less money because whatever equity is left over in the property has to be used to address those judgments.
Yeah.
So by selling to, an all-cash buyer that has access to these processes to eliminate these judgments, you're better off.
So if you have a house that you're looking to sell and you have liens or judgments against it, if you have open mortgages, if you have title defects, if you have problems with anything when it comes down to title with your property, just give us a call at the office. Listen, it's not like we can say we can help everybody, but it's worth having a 5-minute conversation. Give us a call, 631-400-EASY. One of our representatives will be more than happy to sit back, have a 5 to 15-minute conversation to see if we're going to be a good fit for you and if you're a good fit for us. And if we are, we can see if we can make this offer work and get you out of the situation that you're in. We're not for everybody, but when we can help, man, it works out for everybody. It's a win-win across the board for all parties. For you, your siblings, the sellers, the buyers, the title companies, your neighbors. I mean, everybody wins when you're working with Easy Sell Property Solutions. I know we only have about a minute left. Dave, is there anything you want to close out with? We have just about a minute.
I got to say, for all the people out there that are 3 months, 6 months, a year out, trying to sell, think about maybe what you've done to the property that's going to prohibit you from, going through a traditional sale, listing with a realtor. Get all these things out of the open, because it's only going to delay your sale. It's only going to delay your plans if you know that you're going to have issues. Don't go into it blind.
Smart. Be proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, find out what any of these issues are. Get them out in the open, because it's only going to slow things down.
We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. You're listening to us today on 103.9, Cashing Out. We have David LaForte on the show today. EquitySettlements.com. You can reach David at 631-786-8391. And don't forget, you can reach us online, EasySell411.com or 631-400-EASY. We are out.